What's up, y'all? So I wanted to jump on here, and I usually do a video similar to this. I wanted to talk about my successes and my failures. So this is kind of a 2024. Even though I'm not done gardening, I'm still gardening. This is like a 2024 kind of like year-end garden review. And y'all don't mind me. I'm continuing this on from the last video where I was collecting seeds. So this year, let's go with what didn't go well. We'll start with the bad news. So this year, tomatoes. My tomatoes wasn't worth a nickel. You know, it just was what it was. My tomatoes wasn't worth a nickel. I might have got 5 tomatoes the whole season. While I'm saying this, if I was to send out packages that had pepper seeds in them, and they're random and you really don't know what they were, would that be something you'd be interested in? Because I got some pepper seeds that I didn't label. I don't know what they are, but I got a ton of them, and they're clearly something that I grew, because I have a ton of, there's no way that I would have this number of seeds. And I was wondering if, would anybody be interested in that? I'm almost positive they're hot pepper, because I wouldn't have that many sweet pepper seeds. Because I've narrowed it down to, it could either be poblano, it could be Scotch bonnet, or it could be as big as those seeds are. Those aren't Brazilian fantasy. Those are bigger pepper. But how you doing? Kathy Grooves. Told that car. Anyway, yeah. So let me know if y'all. That was just a thought I had. But anyway, my tomatoes didn't do good this year. I might have got 5 or 6 tomatoes. I still got tomatoes over there. They're blooming. They're setting fruit. So maybe I can salvage a little something, but I'm going to call tomatoes a loss. I think some of it was me, and I think some of it was the seeds. Like my mushroom basket, I think it was a combination. The plants looked great all year long, just didn't bloom not once. I don't know what the hell that was about it. Everything around it was blooming, but that wasn't blooming. But other people got mushroom basket tomatoes this season. I saw several people who were able to successfully grow them, so I can't say it's the variety. Maybe just the batch of seeds I got wasn't worth a nickel. I don't know. Something else that didn't do the greatest for me, my roselle, because I lost some plants. I didn't catch the rain issue in enough time or whatever, and I lost a couple of plants. But it is over there blooming. It looks beautiful. It's laid down because the storm pushed it over. That's another thing, y'all. Don't always be worried about your plants being pushed over. If they still growing, I don't pull them out. If the roots are still in the ground, and they still flourishing or whatever, it don't look the prettiest, but I leave them. I'm not going to pull a plant just because it got pushed over. That's not enough justification for me, because a plant can still grow fine blown over, especially on something like roselle. But anyhow, so I would say the roselle, that wasn't all it's cracked up to be. My bananas didn't make no bananas, which I didn't expect them to make no bananas, but so I wouldn't necessarily call that a win either. My greens this year, I've had much better years for greens. That bed finally is just inundated with pine roots, and I'm just gonna have to redo that whole bed now finally after 4 years. But that is what it is. I knew when I planted up under that pine tree that eventually roots would get up in there, and it's not that you don't want no roots. It's just that when a tree as big as a pine, it's when the roots get overwhelming. And sometimes you can tell it's more roots in the bed than it is soil, it almost seems like. So yeah, that's what is happening. So I'm just gonna have to get in there, loosen all that dirt up, get any of the big roots out, and amend it and just start over. Which that's why I have seedlings in the back for different brassicas and things. So no worries there. But greens weren't the best. I did get 2 harvests off of them. They weren't the biggest harvests like how last year I was getting huge harvests. But it's all good. Those plants have been there 4 years. They've given me 4 years year round of green production. I've gotten, I don't even know how many harvests, because look at the harvest videos I did last year. I think I did 2 or 3 harvest videos last year. And they were not small harvests. And sometimes I would just harvest just enough for me and leave, what was out there. And I was selling greens and everything. So I didn't sell any greens this year. I didn't have any. I didn't have enough to be fooled with that. Harlequin bugs were bad on me about the greens this year. My kale, even though I propagated and replanted some of it, I see that curly kale, I think after it, now that's been there a long time. I bought those starts when I first moved here. Those have been here for 8-9 years. That curly kale, the same plant, just been propagating off of it. And I think finally those propagations are giving up the ghost, because even when I did this last propagation, yes, they grew. 2 of them have died out on me. I think I have 3 or 4 left in there, and they look okay, but they are not growing how they once were. They're kind of doing like these others over here, and I think I need to do the same thing in that bed. That bed had got an ant mound in it at one point in time, and those ants just pulled a bunch of clay and stuff, so that dirt is probably so compacted and everything, and there's probably a fool. So that bed will get redone as well. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that wasn't too good? Oh, the muscadine and my grapes, my fault, I didn't put the trellis up. Grapes love something to climb on and to grow on, and I did not get my trellis up in enough time. And since I didn't get my trellis up in enough time, it didn't have time to really flourish and grow up on something and do well. So that was completely on me. That was not the plant. Now the plant is down there living just fine. But like I said, just, the plant is down there living, but it didn't flourish how it probably should have, because it didn't have anything to grow up and onto. What else? What else did not do well? My strawberries. Strawberries, I had all of those die. Every last strawberry is dead. Oh, no. The strawberries I bought, they all died. The strawberries that Angela sent me, and strawberries that I started from seed, I had a couple come up. They did good. They're still alive. They're in the little swimming pool back there. Did I have anything else to die out on me? I'm thinking hard, y'all. I had quite a few mulberry cuttings not do well for me. I had quite a few mulberry cuttings, and if you see in the old video where I showed y'all the ones with Dan, I have 2 of those that survived. But I did several other cuttings, and they did not do well at all. Just for whatever reason, they just did not do well. Because I think I had 3 batches of cuttings where they started to kind of like they wanted to take, and then they just died out. What else? My figs did not stay on top of my watering. I got 3 figs, I think, 3 or 4 figs. They were delicious, but I need 3 or 4 figs. So didn't stay on top of my watering. And then I had the one that kind of had some transplant shock, kind of was in a soggy spot. It wasn't doing too well, but I was able to correct that. But the watering I was not able to really correct. What else? This is crazy. Anyhow, what else? What else? Damn. What was I gonna say? All right. I think that's all the bad stuff. I think. Um, gotta put this over here. What is this? Oh, I can't really think of any other bad things. I can't think of any other bad things. The good things, and some of the stuff I haven't even harvested. So some of the stuff I can't weigh in on. Sweet potatoes, I haven't dug them, so I don't know. Garlic did well. Y'all saw the garlic harvest, so that did well. Let me see. Garlic harvest did well. Onions did okay. They did okay. It wasn't great, but I also didn't plant a lot of onions either. But they did okay. Peppers, astounding. I had some issues at the beginning with that curling or whatever that was, and I have seen it in other people's videos, just not as bad as mine was. And I don't know if that's an environmental thing, a weather thing, or what. I don't know, because I've seen it in other people's videos, and the videos that I've seen it in, the person that I'm thinking of specifically, they don't use any pesticides or anything. So you definitely don't use herbicides. So I don't know. I don't know. But once the curling issue was fixed, the peppers are fine, and all of the peppers didn't do it, only certain ones. So I don't know what that is, but so peppers did great. The peas did, I'm gonna say the peas did okay. I've gotten years where I've had better harvest, like I harvested more peas. The plants themselves look amazing, but pea plants always look amazing. But like I said, I have gotten years where I've gotten more of a harvest than that with less plants. So like I said, the peas were okay. I'm not gonna say they were bad or good. They were just kind of in the middle. But I'm happy because I got a decent amount of peas or whatever. My Swiss chard did good at the beginning of the year until the heat killed it. I have not harvested turmeric or ginger yet, so the verdict is still out on them. Peanuts too, the verdict is out on the peanuts. The callaloo, I was absolutely ecstatic about the callaloo because in previous years I failed every single time. I'd start seeds, they either wouldn't come up or they would come up and they would immediately be eaten down before I could even transplant them. It was crazy. But this year the callaloo did me proud. I was so happy about the callaloo, and I was able to get several harvests. I technically could harvest again. Don't want to. I'm just gonna let it go to seed because I have 4 2-gallon bags of callaloo in my freezer. Let me see. I already talked about the roselle. I haven't harvested the roselle yet, but I'm sure I'll get a decent harvest. Blueberries. I was very happy with my blueberries early in the season. I got a nice amount of blueberries. Very happy with my catnip up in the season. Got a nice amount of catnip and got a ton of seeds, thousands of seeds. Probably millions to be honest, because catnip seeds are so tiny. Ground cherries. They didn't do very good for me this year. Just like the tomatoes, and they're in the tomato family. I did get some ground cherries, but I didn't get nowhere near. But I also think it was the container it was in. I'm going to rework that and maybe not plant them in that container again. Plant them in a different spot. Plant them in a spot where they can get, number 1, more sunlight. Number 2, well, just more sunlight. I think everything else, that soil in that container is not the best. I'm going to redo that whole container. This container is falling apart anyway. It's so brittle, it's falling apart. So I have to redo it anyway. But it's got a goji berry in it. What I think I'm going to do is just leave the goji berry in there. I'm sure I'll have volunteers in there. But I'll just redo all the soil, amend it, and all that kind of stuff, all that jazz. So that's that on that. The goji berries did pretty good this year. My goji berries didn't do nearly as good as Army Chickadees, so I just have to say my stuff did okay. Oh, the Maypop. I didn't get any Maypops. That I don't think it's none up there. But something that did happen this year, which was a step forward, it actually bloomed this year. Now, I don't think any of the flowers got pollinated, or if they did, something like they didn't take or whatever. But it did bloom. So that was a step in the right direction. But I still did not get any Maypops or passion fruits. Didn't get any mulberries, but the plant grew beautifully and you know, just prolifically it grew. But I didn't get any mulberries. Hopefully it will fruit come next spring. Y'all, yeah, I think for the most part, I think I covered everything, right? Because a lot of the stuff, like I said, I haven't dug. Oh, my fruit trees. The peaches, I got peaches. So I'm happy with that. I got 4 peaches. That ain't a lot, but I'll take it because the last few years, the weather ain't cooperated and I ain't getting no peaches. The last about 2-3 years. I didn't get anything off the apple, but I grafted on the apple. So I'm going to call that a step in the right direction. We'll see what happens next year. The pears did fabulously. I got a lot of pears. I even was able to share pears with the squirrels. So got a lot of pears. Got no persimmons this year, but the tree put on size. So I will take that as a win. I really wanted fruit this year because I tasted one again. That tree has fruited for me twice to where I could actually get a harvest. The first year I got 2, and the persimmons were okay. But you have to understand as your tree matures, the taste of the fruit will change, and a lot of times it gets better. Now sometimes it don't, but in the case of my persimmon, when I tried that one last year, y'all, it tasted like a pie, like literally. Not texturally, because I harvest mine crispy. I don't really like the mushy persimmon thing. If you do, more power to you. I'm good. When I bit into that, it was so sweet and had these cinnamon notes. I mean, that persimmon was, and I really wanted another one this year. Didn't happen. Oh well, maybe next year. And like I said, it put on a nice amount of growth this year, so I was happy to see that. My kumquat has kumquats on it, so if I make it to harvest, my navel orange tree didn't put on any navel oranges, but it did get bigger. It grew nicely. It grew about 6 or 7 feet, not all on one branch, like 2 feet here, 2 feet there. You get what I'm saying? On 3 or 4 different branches, it grew about 2 feet. And it's still growing. The kumquat just shot out like a huge branch the other day that's about 1.5 feet long. So, you know, I'll take that. My watermelons, they were volunteer. They didn't do anything. I didn't expect them to do anything. They have 2 little melons over there. We'll see what happens. Y'all saw I got a couple of little melons here and there, but those are volunteers. Lemon drops, my vine died out, but I did get a bunch of seeds, so I'll take that as a partial win. My okra did okay this year. Didn't do great. But, you know, it is what it is. I've been getting okra here and there. Okra is actually starting to pick up for some strange reason. But, so, you know, I'll call that a partial win as well. But I did get enough okra to save seeds, which I'm happy about that. I just need to get enough burgundy okra to save seeds. And that'll be a win-win. And the blondie, too, because I don't have any burgundy okra seeds anymore, and I don't have any blondie. Those seeds were so old, I went on and sold them. Because, like I said, all these old seeds, you have all these old seeds. And, So, for real, I think I covered everything. I could have did better this year on herbs. I planted some herbs. Some came up, some didn't. Some died out, like the parsley died out. Walking onions, they did okay. My little walking onion babies didn't do too good, but somebody sent me some. So I definitely have more walking onions to propagate. I planted a lot more onions. I planted my garlic back already. It's coming up already. That's why I said you don't have to wait till September, October to plant your garlic, y'all. If you can, harvest that garlic and whatever you're going to plant it on back. It's not going to come. It's going to pop up when it's ready. It's not going to impede nothing. So just go ahead and plant it. My garlic is coming up now. So, you know. But yeah, I think I done covered everything. My pomegranates, they're over there just, you know, sitting in the ground growing. It's not ready for them to fruit. I assume next year they'll get much bigger. The roots hopefully will have gotten established. And I'm going to try to amend over there and make sure I do what I need to do to try to get those pomegranates to be even more fruitful. I'm actually thinking about moving them. I might do pomegranates on either side of the steps. Y'all think I should do that? Because I could amend the soil and stuff. Like I could loosen it, amend the soil, and I may do that. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. But y'all, I have gone through seeds. I have gotten a lot of things organized. I kind of know what I have and what I don't have. And that's a good feeling. So y'all tell me what did well and what didn't do well in your garden. And if I forgot something that you wanted to know about, put it in the comment section and I'll respond to it. Because I think I covered everything, but I don't think my citrus back there that I planted, a lot of that stuff just grew. None of it fruited, which I was fine with that. I just wanted it to grow and get bigger. And longevity spinach, Okinawa spinach, that stuff is still living, still doing good. I did harvest off the longevity spinach, not the Okinawa, because it was very small. I'm waiting on it to get bigger. But yeah, I think I covered everything. I think. So, like I said, if I forgot something that you know you want to see, let me know. Put it in the comment section below. And until next time, see you guys later. You know you can't get nothing done. People see you doing something, and they think this their invitation to come up here and start talking to you. But anyway, that was my neighbor Trent, child. He don't mean no harm. That's why I don't be tripping too bad. But these beets, I better sow them suckers. Beets is another one. Like I said, I'm gonna go back to what I said. Make sure your seeds is dry. Make sure you try to collect them when they all the way mature if you can. Like for instance, peppers. You want those peppers, if you can, you want them to be all the way red on the plant. Now, don't get me wrong. I done harvested some peppers that wasn't all the way ripe and the seeds still germinated. But to get a good rate of germination, you want to let them mature on the plant. Okra is more or less the same way. You want it to get good and hard. And then, and you know, now let me say this. This is motherland okra. I let this okra get good and hard, and it was starting to yellow. It wasn't drying on the plant. It was starting to yellow. I cut it off. I set it over here and let it finish drying. Y'all, I did a germination test, and it was okay. And the seeds, a lot of time with okra, you can tell by the way the seeds, let me put them in my hand. You can't see them in all those gallons of bag. Shoot, you can't really see them good like that there either. Let me turn them down. See them? So, when the seeds look right, they probably are right. A lot of time, if okra seeds is not viable, they don't even look right. They be all shriveled up and real little and stuff, and they don't turn that classic kind of grayish, dark gray, grayish black. They don't even turn that color if they're not right. And if you think about it, when you eat okra, the seeds are white. You get what I'm saying? So that lets you know there that there's a difference in a mature seed versus a seed that's not mature. But yeah, you want to try to make sure whatever you harvest, make sure it's good and mature. You don't want to be around here harvesting immature stuff, because your seeds won't be viable. Another thing, this floating business, where they be talking about viable seeds float, that's a flat lie. That was one of the first things that I ever tested. When somebody got to telling me about some seeds. I planted some seeds. They said, oh, if the tomato seeds or any kind of seed, you know, if they sink, they're viable. If they float, they're not viable. Bull. I did that one time, and the first time when I thought you had to ferment tomato seeds, and I was unaware that you indeed do not have to ferment tomato seeds. I I fermented some seeds, and all the tomato seeds that floated, that they claimed should not be viable. I said, oh, hey, these things ain't supposed to be viable. I'm just going to plant them and see what happens. Over 80% germination on them seeds. I kid you not. And that was the day that I learned that I had an okra seed pop out. I don't know where it went. I'm sure I have a volunteer okra somewhere. This is why I have volunteers, y'all. Y'all see how I sit? I sit on the porch today, a nice day. And I sit on the porch and do stuff because it's nice out here and I want to be outside. But yeah, y'all. All 80% germination on those seeds that supposedly were not supposed to be viable. So I say that to say, don't automatically look. That's just 4 okra, y'all. 4 okra. That's plenty enough seeds for one person for you to plant next season. That's why I said you don't need a ton of seeds either. 1 pepper, that's enough. I just can't stand it when I see people, they're never saving seeds, Charlie. They run me ragged, and I'm gonna be honest and tell you I don't understand it. But let me see, what else was I gonna say? So yeah, the floating seeds, that's a myth. The floating seeds is a myth. Having the ferment seeds is a myth. Y'all just get your seeds, dry them out real good. Don't even worry about if they float or not. Sometimes you do want to clean your seeds off. Some like melon seeds, they have so much goo and stuff on them. I don't like for my seeds to be extremely sticky. So in those cases, you do want to rinse your seeds off real good. And then when you do that, make sure you let them dry really, really good. Especially if you're going to put them in plastic. Now, if you're going to put them in an organza bag where they can breathe, I would even hesitate. I would even say, would not even hesitate. You probably could just put them in your organza bag. Like say you had pepper seeds fresh out of a pepper. Put them in your organza bag, cinch it up, and just put this somewhere where there's good air circulation. And they'll dry in this bag. They shouldn't mold because, like I said, this bag, if you can see through it, obviously there's plenty of air getting through. If you put it in paper, it should be okay. Should be. That's my bones from my bone meal. But if you put it in paper, it should be okay. If you let your seeds dry all the way up on the plant, completely dry, you probably can go ahead and put them in plastic and they probably should be okay. All of this is catnip. Y'all ought to see how much. And that's another thing. When you do catnip seeds, it's almost in mint. It's almost impossible to get all the chaff off. Just because there's so much chaff. It's hard to get it all off. Now wait a cotton picking minute. I got 2 bags of catnip. I've got 2 bags of catnip seeds, y'all. I got more catnip seeds, and then I got catnip seeds in this container bag here. Oh man, more catnip than I know what to do with. I may plant that. Y'all excuse me. My nose running. I may plant. See, do this bag got a hole in it? It do. It do. Do this bag got a hole? It does not. So I'm going to put the non-holy bag in the holy bag. And then these were those old brassicas that I didn't too much care for. I didn't too much care for them things. I really didn't. They had a real old strong flavor. It wasn't no good flavor either. Ooh, it was so strong. And I ain't gonna lie, I think this was supposed to be some kind of Asian broccoli or something. Not trying to be funny. I can see Asians liking this. Because sometimes they like stuff. Ooh, and the flavors be so strong. They really do. And maybe I got a whole bunch of seeds down in here. Now, see, I collected these seeds in this paper sack, and they were still able to dry. Now, I did leave the paper sack open at the top, but they was able to dry. So, but yeah, so you just basically want to make sure they dry. If you need to clean them out some, clean them out some. You can do that with tomatoes. You can clean some of that tomato gel off. If you put them in a sieve like this and kind of put them in there and then put water on them and rub your fingers across, a lot of time the gel will rinse through and the seeds will stay. But you just be kind of gentle. Don't be too rough. What else? Cold stratification. Most of the time, cold stratification is needed for stuff that has extremely hard seed coat, like blackberry seeds, I think mulberry seeds, what else? Blueberry seeds, and certain other. Sometimes when the seed is super tiny, it needs cold stratification too. There's no definite rule about it, but you know, it does. You know, some stuff do need cold stratification. But let me put these back in here. Okay, yeah, I knew I had some vacancies somewhere. So French sorrel. Oh. But then you see stuff running. Child, this stuff is too much for my psyche right now. Okay. Child, and be careful about bugs too. Bugs tend to like your seeds, and sometimes will get, if they can get in there, they get in there and try to eat them up. You can stay your ass down in there too. Then I can't hardly close. Just act like it don't even want to close. And the clamp on the other side is broke. But I'm trying to think, is there anything else myths and stuff about seeds? I don't know. Peas, I let them make sure they dry all the way up on the plant. Beans too. I make sure they dry all the way up on the plant, because like I said, you want to make sure your stuff germinates. You don't want to be out here really trying to do something, and then you plant your seeds and they don't germinate. Saving seeds is also another way, like I said, to be a little bit more sustainable in your gardening. I know everybody gardens for different reasons, but to me, it makes no sense to continue to buy seeds from seed companies and make them rich. And it's no point in that. It's just no point in that. So if you can save seeds, especially on stuff like where you know you're going to get seeds, like peppers and corn, save one ear of corn. You know what I mean? Seeds on each kernel is a seed. So on one ear, your peas, your beans, things of that nature. Save your seeds. And I'm probably going to end up having to edit this video to try to kind of cut it down and condense it, because I had a bunch of stuff while I was talking wild and crazy. But no, seriously. Y'all think about all those things and all those different myths and stuff, and don't always just believe the hype sometimes. Sometimes don't create extra work for yourself when you don't have to create extra work for yourself. You could really just get a lot done without having to do all that. Look at this, a bunch of random peppers. I see Crayola Cella seeds in here. See, this is another thing. You could just let the pepper just dry completely. And the seeds, they fall right out. They be just as viable. And you don't have to do anything. All I did was lay these seeds down in a container. That's all I did. Just lay the seeds down in a container. And I got some other varieties of peppers in here too. Some of them I know what they are, and some of them I don't. But I know the Crayola Stellas when I see it. They kind of retain some of their yellow color. But yeah, y'all. It's just, I don't know. Y'all tell me. Seed saving. Do you think it's important? Do you not think it's important? Are you one of those types that save seeds, or do you buy all of your seeds, just keep rebuying them year after year? You tell me how you do. All right, so till next time, see you guys later.